What's up, everybody? I guess I should have finished my hit first. Sorry. It's a perfect start to a video about prejudice. You know, as a white male in America, I can't say that I've exactly had the experience of being racially profiled. Or I can't say that I've been targeted as either a minority or a poor person, nor a rich person targeted for what they have. I've always been that average guy. I have stuff, but I don't really have that much stuff. I'm just an average dude. I'm not super poor. I'm not rich by any means. I guess I am super poor in the sense that I owe more than I have, and I don't really have any cash. So, whatever, that's American way. But prejudice that I'm talking about here is the kind of prejudice that we have for each other's views based on very small differences. And they can be very mundane things, like, obviously the big ones might be a person's religious affiliation. Another one's another person's political affiliation. People can't help it if a person's liberal, whatever, calls themselves a liberal, and another person considers themselves a conservative. They're always going to have this wary tension between them, even if they're friends. And I know, because you can see it in people. And a person may have a successful relationship with someone, whether it be a partner or a friend or a relative, that has similar interests, and you can tell the relationship works fine, but there's one difference, and one person considers themselves superior because of that difference, and they hold it inside and don't admit it to themselves. And I try to be as honest as I can with myself about who I am and what mistakes I've made in the past, and hopefully not to make the same mistakes in the future, that kind of thing. And when I find myself judging someone, that's prejudice, and it could be many different reasons. I acknowledge when I do it, and I try to amend the problem, I guess. Now, some people enjoy prejudice. They really like bashing others at any cost. They don't care. Even people who are almost similar in every single interest except one. If a person doesn't think exactly the way they think, then they're wrong. And this has led people down a very lonely path. I have a very open book with people. I really try to be honest and kindly, even with people that I don't agree with their views, because otherwise we don't learn. You can't live in an echo chamber where you're just picking up on everybody else's opinions. And, it leads me to this thought about when we are prejudiced and we do make mistakes, or when we feel like we've been, stereotyped ourselves, that we need to confront that issue right away. Confront the person who's doing it, because you can't let yourself stew in it or them stew in it. It's like when you have an argument or a debate with someone, you gotta let it go. It doesn't matter how heated you might get, or whether you're emotional or not, or what kind of things are said, and how you can't express yourself. In the end, whatever, you go along your way. Because ultimately, through all the bullshit and all the surface noise, we are just humans, and we are an organism. One organism. And though I may have small little things that I do during the day that are based on my ego, at the end of the day, all my actions I do, or I try to do, are based on the better of my environment and surroundings. Try not to act selfishly, say things that are hurtful, or speak under my breath. I especially don't like cynicism and sarcasm unless it's necessary. Like, a person who, when you're trying to have a serious conversation, a person who's cynical with you, or, and that's that. The one thing that I've found, and the reason why I think that cannabis is such a good example for this, is because at the beginning I was saying how I'm white, and I'm not, I've never been racially profiled, or or anything of that, or class profiled, but I've been profiled as a stoner, big time. I mean, I've been smoking pot since I was about 14, 15, so about 23 years, and pretty much consistently. I quit for like 2 years for probation, and that was about it. And I've smoked all the time, and I've had so many people that are like, "Oh, you smoke? Oh, I don't puff. Yeah, I have a few beers, but I don't smoke weed." Like, really? You know, I smoke weed, but I don't drink beer. I don't think of myself as superior. That's not right, you know, but I can see it creeping in to stoners' minds. I've heard so many people who smoke pot say, "Yeah, I'm a stoner, but I don't do this or I don't do that." You know, it's just like the cokehead saying, "Well, I don't slam it, I just smoke it." And the other dude saying, "I don't smoke it, I just snort it." And the other guy saying, "I just chew coca leaves, I wouldn't make cocaine and snort that shit." Everybody has a degree to which they find it's acceptable to do something. And it's really easy to profile someone who doesn't do it the same way as you, or do the same even drug as you. I've often had discussions with people who are prejudiced against people for drug use I say, "Well, look at you. Look at the clothes that you're wearing. Look at those labels. You know, you're wearing those to be noticed, to be seen. So you have a problem too. Your drug is serotonin and dopamine, because when you go into the store to buy those things, you're releasing all kinds of chemicals in your brain, just like drugs do. I guess drugs, maybe some drugs, a quicker trip to the shopping mall. But I do think that there's a large bias in the community, because there's drug use and there's drug abuse. Now, I smoke pot, but I'm not a stoner. I don't smoke pot all day, every day. There's people who are proud of that. And it's like, you know, that I really enjoy the sober moments in life. I really like being clear-headed, you know, and enjoying my day. And I've found a balance that works for me. But I could just as easily be prejudiced against the hardcore stoners, like, "Oh, you smoke too much," you know. These little judgments go so deep, and to get past them is to realize who we are. Because when we realize who we are, and we're honest with ourselves, we can be honest with those around us, and stop trying to defend some alternate point of view. Like, I debate things, and I'll argue with people if I feel strongly about something, but generally I really don't feel like I ever have to really prove my point. I don't really have any intention to prove my point other than to try to express information to others. And that's where I wanted this to lead, was the idea of giving information to people that you find important. And this is not just like news stuff. This is findings of life, because there's a fine line between telling people what works for you and telling people what will work for them. And as people who are searching, many of us find things that we want to share, which is why I do my channel. I like to share ideas that help me, but I try not to do it in a way that tells anybody else it'll work for them. But at the same time, some of these things, I do believe in my heart, are things that we should all share, that we should all do, certain values that we should all carry. And some people would say, "Well, you know, that's not true." Well, this is kind of like when Christians carry the Word of God. They consider it at all costs to be, you know, regardless of what another person thinks. They figure, well, that's what our purpose is. I don't know the specifics or how many Christians or which sects do it, but I know many Christian sects believe that spreading the Word of God is the most important thing, and to share the knowledge that you've learned. In that exact same way, that's how I feel about philosophical knowledge. I feel like these things need to be shared with everyone, even if they make the person who's sharing them look stupid. You know, because I know a lot of the things that I've shared are just things that are obvious to some people, and some of them are very mundane or just stupid, you know, to a lot of people, and that's fine. I expect that. That's what I want, because I'm not here to impress. I've had a few people send me messages as if, like, I'm catering to them. Like, "Well, I subbed you, and this. It's like, I'm not here to please you. You know, that's the thing. I don't have commercials. I don't have any logos or anything. I'm just here to just speak my mind. I'm not here to please people, because the truth hurts. And often the things that I say, I don't even want to say, because I feel like I'm being not condescending. What's the word? Almost like, I guess condescending, kind of. Not condescending, but basically telling people that, I know the words there, but telling people that this works, and we need to be this way, and it's very kind of, I don't know. What right do I have, right, to say what's right and what's the truth? And that was the whole point of what I'm saying, is that the right and the truth comes from your heart. And some people believe it's something else, and some people believe it's something else. But to me, some of these truths have helped me to grow. And so my only purpose really is to just help other people to grow in ways that I know that work. Now, there are many things I haven't shared that because I don't think I could either explain them, or I would just get lost, in the process. But generally, when something comes to mind that I feel in my heart, I make a video about it and I post it up. So there it is. So peace out, everybody. I'm gonna go finish fixing my new computer. I haven't had a laptop in a long time, and I finally ordered a $30 hard drive. It's almost loaded. So peace.